Welcome to Night Visitor. If you enjoy, please like and subscribe. We hope you enjoy the story of the camp. No one leaves. I don't tell this story much anymore, partly because most people don't believe me, partly because I don't like remembering it. But sometimes, late at night, when the house is quiet and the world feels thin, I swear I can still hear them out there, the chanting, the crackle of the fire, and my best friend whispering my name from the dark. My name's Mark. I'm 64 years old now. This happened when I was 19, and if I had listened to that little voice in my head, the one that told me to turn around and go home, none of it would have happened. But I didn't, and that summer changed everything. The invitation. Back then, my best friend was a guy named Eric. He was the wild one, funny, brave, always dragging me into trouble, but the kind that ended in laughter. We'd just finished our first year of college. No money, no jobs lined up, no plans. Then one afternoon, Eric shows up at my house with that grin of his. "Dude, you want to get out of here for the summer?" I asked him where. He said, "A camp, out in the woods. Somebody my cousin knows. Free cabins, free food, just help with chores. No rules, no parents." It sounded perfect. Looking back, the details should have bothered me. No website, no paperwork, no address, just directions. But when you're 19, you think nothing bad can happen to you. So we packed our bags, sleeping bags, flashlights, junk food, and we drove. Hours passed. The civilization disappeared. Gas stations turned into long stretches of trees and dirt roads. And then we found it. The camp wasn't like the summer camps I'd seen in movies. No colorful signs, no laughing kids, just old wooden cabins, half-rotted and leaning, scattered through the trees like they'd been abandoned years ago, and right in the middle, a giant stone fire pit. No one was there at first, just silence. Even the birds were quiet. I remember saying, "Are you sure this is the place?" And Eric laughed. "Relax, man, it's rustic." Then someone stepped out from the trees. She looked maybe 40, tall, calm, dressed in simple gray clothes, no jewelry, no watch, barefoot. She smiled at us like she'd been waiting. "Welcome, you're right on time." Didn't ask our last names, didn't check our IDs, just welcomed us like she already knew who we were. She said her name was Mara, and that everyone here was family. And for a second, I felt this weird calm, like everything was okay, like I could trust her. That feeling, that was the first sign something was wrong. There were rules, but they weren't written anywhere. Mara explained them over dinner, bowls of stew around the fire while the sun went down and shadows crept closer. No phones, no clocks, no talking about the outside world. "The forest is honest," she said. "Out there is noise. Here, you learn who you really are." Everyone sitting around the fire nodded like they'd heard it 1,000 times. There were maybe 20 people, all ages, all quiet, smiling but empty. Their eyes didn't match the smiles. Eric whispered to me, "Bro, this is like hippie therapy." I tried to laugh, but something about the way they all stared into the flames made my stomach twist. That night, we were shown our cabin. 2 beds, a lantern, no locks. Before she left, Mara put her hand on the doorframe and said, "If you hear drums, don't come outside. Not yet. You're not ready?" I asked. "Drums?" She just smiled. "Sleep well." But I didn't, because sometime after midnight, I heard them, slow, deep, boom, 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 and underneath them, voices, not singing, not talking, but chanting. The next morning, everyone acted normal. like nothing had happened. We chopped wood, carried water, ate in silence. But as night came, the air changed. People moved slower, whispered more, watched the sky like they were waiting for something. And when darkness fell, the drums started again. This time, someone knocked on our door. A young guy, maybe our age, blank expression, soft voice. "Mara says you're ready." We followed him to the fire pit. Everyone gathered in a circle, holding hands, faces glowing orange, eyes reflecting the flames. Mara stepped forward. "Tonight, we welcome new brothers." Everyone turned to us. Eric squeezed my shoulder like, "Go with it." Then they began to chant. Not English, not any language I recognized. The words crawled into my head like insects. Wrong, heavy, too old. Mara cut her palm with a small stone knife, letting the blood drip into the fire. The flames jumped. Someone behind me whispered, "The forest hears." Someone else, "The forest sees." Mara looked at us. "Give something to the fire, something from before, something you won't need anymore." Eric tossed his college ID into the flames. He grinned like it was nothing. I froze. My wallet, my keys, my pictures, everything suddenly felt important. But everyone was watching, so I pulled out a photo of my family and I threw it in. They cheered softly, and then they hugged us, warm, too long, too close. And that night, I dreamed of trees with mouths. Over the next few days, things got strange. People stopped using our names. They called us brother. Meals got smaller. Conversations got quieter. And Eric changed. He used to joke, talk, argue. Now he woke up before dawn to sit by the fire with Mara. He barely looked at me anymore. When I tried to talk to him, he said stuff like, "You worry too much. They're helping us. Don't you feel lighter?" And honestly, sometimes I did. Out there with no phones, no noise, no obligations, time sort of dissolved. But at night, those dreams, faces in the woods, hands reaching from the ground, the sound of chanting getting closer, closer, closer. One morning I snapped and said, "Eric, we should leave." He stared at me like I'd insulted him. "Leave? Why would we leave before the offering?" I swallowed. "What's the offering?" He smiled, but it didn't reach his eyes. "You'll see. The woods." 2 nights before the offering, Mara sent us into the forest. No flashlights, no paths, just instructions. Walk until the forest speaks, then wait. Everyone disappeared into the trees like ghosts. Eric walked fast. I tried to keep up. Branches scratched my arms. Roots snagged my feet. Eventually, we reached a clearing. Moonlight poured down like silver. The air was icy. Eric sat, didn't say a word. Minutes passed, then hours, and the forest did speak. But it wasn't words. It was footsteps all around us, slow, deliberate, circling. Yet when I turned, there was nothing. No animals, no wind, no shapes, just that feeling, like something huge and old was standing right behind me, breathing, watching, and then, clear as anything, I heard it inside my head. "Stay!" I bolted. I ran like a terrified kid through the dark. Branches whipped my rocks, tore my shoes. I didn't care. I just ran until the camp lights finally appeared. When Eric came back hours later, he was smiling, too wide. "You shouldn't have run," he said. "It doesn't like that." The final night came. Everyone dressed in gray, faces painted with ash. No one spoke. The drums began, louder than ever, faster, urgent. We gathered around the fire. Mara lifted her arms. Tonight, the forest accepts what is owed. People began crying, but smiling at the same time. And then they brought out the cage, small, rusted. Inside was a little goat, terrified, bleeding. For a split second, I let out a breath. Just an animal, not us. But then Mara turned to Eric. You were chosen to give. My stomach turned to ice. Eric nodded like he'd been expecting it. They handed him the stone knife. The chanting grew louder, faster, spiraling. I grabbed his arm. Eric, don't. We can go. We can leave right now. He looked at me, and I swear his eyes weren't his eyes anymore. Calm, empty. It's not death, he whispered. It's becoming. He stepped toward the fire, and everything inside me screamed. The break. I don't remember deciding to move. I just tackled him. The knife clattered away. People gasped. Others shouted. Hands grabbed at me, nails digging into my skin. Mara's voice boomed through the night. Stop! Everyone froze. Even the fire seemed to shrink. She walked up to me slowly, eyes dark, smile gone. He was ready. You were not. I said, shaking, We're leaving. She tilted her head. No one leaves before they are done. I grabbed Eric's wrist. He didn't fight. He just stared at Mara like a lost child. Brother, she said softly, come back. For a moment, I thought he would. Then I pulled harder, and we ran. The chase. The camp exploded behind us, shouts, drums, footsteps crashing through leaves. Flashlights finally appeared. So much for no technology. Eric stumbled. I dragged him. Branches whipped past. My lungs burned. My heart hammered. I could hear them behind us, chanting that awful word over and over. Not English. But it meant one thing. Return. We burst into the same clearing from before. The moon was gone. The air felt thick, like syrup. Eric collapsed. Maybe they're right, he whispered. Maybe we should just... No, I said. Get up. Get up. He didn't. And then everything went quiet. No footsteps, no chanting, just that presence again, heavy, watching, and inside my skull only one leaves. The trees bent inward like they were listening. The air pressed on my chest. Eric looked at me, scared now, really scared. What does it mean? I didn't answer, because deep down I already knew something out there didn't want both of us, just one, a trade, an offering, a bargain. The choice. I tried to lift him again. He shoved me back. Go, he said. You're the one who wanted to leave. Go. I shook my head. He smiled. The real smile, finally. You always thought I was the brave one. Turns out you are. The chanting grew closer again. Lights flickered in the trees. Mara's voice drifted through the darkness. Eric, come home. He looked at me. Tell my mom I didn't run away. Tell her I chose. I don't remember the moment I turned. I just know I did. I ran, and I didn't stop. Not when the chanting stopped. Not when the sun came up. Not when the road finally appeared and a truck driver nearly hit me and slammed to a stop. I never saw Eric again. After police went out there, at least that's what they told me. They found nothing. No cabins, no fire pit, no people, just forest. Like the camp had never existed. For years, I tried to convince myself I imagined it. Bad dreams, stress, youth. But every summer, on the same night, I wake up to the sound of drums, somewhere far away, and sometimes I swear I hear his voice in the trees outside my house, soft, patient. You should have stayed. And maybe the worst part? Sometimes I agree. Because I think the forest didn't just take Eric. I think it's still coming for what it's owed. And I don't know how long I have left.
Thanks for watching to the end. Please consider liking and subscribing. Stay safe.